Afternoon. Wanted to give a real quick review and some opinions on not only my new guitar but the Evertune bridge. This is an ESP Ben Weinman BW1. It is a custom guitar that they make. It's basically their X-Tone model, but obviously they made it specifically for Ben Weinman. It is a mahogany body. It's a flame maple top, maple neck. This is an ebony fretboard, 24 extra large jumbo frets. It's got a 25.5-inch scale neck, molded nut. It has the ESP locking tuners, and we'll get back to that a little bit later. And it has the ESP 81 and 85 pickups. Now, I decided to take those out. I actually just got this guitar about 2 days ago. Decided to take the 81, 85 out just before I purchased it, and ended up getting the 57 and 66. These are the 57 and 66 pickups. Wanted a little bit more of a passive pickup, a little active, a little bit more bite than a standard PAF. But I wanted something that's not as tight. And I will tell you, the day that I got to spend with the 81 and the 85, fantastic pickups. They're the ones originally coming into the chromes, and they are if you're a chugger, if you like hard rock, awesome. Now the funny thing is that it has an F hole, so it's partially hollow body. It does have a block in the middle. This is really just for aesthetics. It is a beautiful guitar. The long scale neck just allows it to play. Just an amazing guitar. It's a 350 millimeter scale neck. Very fast, very fast. Enjoy it. I just love love the sound, love the feel. It's just a joy to play. Since I've got it in the last 2 days, I look forward to playing it. It's just ESP makes great ESP LTD. Pardon me. They make great guitars. And my opinion on ESP and LTD models, compared to a lot of the other ones, a lot of other guitar companies, they tend to go a little short on some of the important things, whether it be the frets, whether it be the nut, whether it be the tuners. Tone Pros, on original ESPs has Tone Pro locking bridges on their EC models. Would never think about putting an Evertune. Has standard PFs, which are great, but it's a great alternative. It's like a guitar on steroids, and they're made very, very well. My only gripe, obviously, for paying that kind of money is you hope to get a case, but so be it. Now we've got the Evertune bridge. What the Evertune bridge basically is that their whole thought about what they do is your guitar will not go out of tune. Now, never say never. I see everybody posting, oh, it'll never go out of tune. No, it will. Let's just be realistic. However, it stays in wonderful tune from the top fret all the way down to the bottom. And that's very hard. That's a really hard thing to do. And a lot of people don't like doing it on a regular guitar, setting your action and setting your intonation. And a lot of people don't like worrying about that. So what happens? High strings, intonation not really good here after the 12th fret. This solves that. It's easy to do. Now, again, what it does is each individual string is set upon a saddle that is you adjust on a spring. There's a steel spring. So each one of these are individual. Okay. Once you set you string the guitar up, basically the tuners, these tuners are to get you into what's called zone 2. And what zone 2 is, there's a point where the spring, kind of like a Floyd Rose, it is balanced. If it's too high, it really doesn't do too much. When it's too low, it's not good at all. It has to be balanced. But once you get into zone 2, your saddle is balanced. Okay? These, you don't even tune with these. You tune here at the saddle. Okay, so you have a hex screw that goes in and individually tunes all of those. Okay, these screws right here, those are for your action. In other words, so if you want your action high, you just flip the screw, check the measurements, there you go. If you want it low, same thing. And then the last thing, those screws are for your intonation. If you've ever dealt with intonation, you know that on a standard Les Paul, you have your tunematic bridge here. You have these screws. You're setting at 12. You got that screw, and you're just sitting there holding it, trying to hold it. Trying to hold that. Here, it's a lot easier because it's right there. Okay. Now, mind you, that there's still a lot. There's still a learning curve with the Evertune. I've only had it for less than 2 days, and I'm still learning about it. There's a lot of questions that I have that I want answered as far as like saddle how far when you're restringing, how far you want to saddle back or front, or do you even worry about that? Just a lot of little questions that, as a fine tuner, I like to sit and mod guitars all the time. I want to know these things. And they don't do a real good job, of answering all those specific questions, and they don't have to. That's what their customer service is for. So I'm going to be posting more information concerning that the more I get it. But I will say right now, this is one of the best inventions that have come out in a long time, and you're going to see a lot of this. For me, this type of bridge and this type of guitar is perfect for a person who is playing and never has to really tune it, who never is playing in their room, practicing, learning some things, and never want to tune it. It's always going to be in tune. Or that musician who has 4 or 5 guitars and he wants one specifically set, because again, it's kind of hard to it's hard to like a Floyd Rose. You've got it in one tuning. You got to do all this stuff just to go into a different tuning, and so that's what you do. Same thing with this. It's not as hard as doing a Les Paul, but you've got to go through string tension, string as far as string length, things like that. There's a lot of things that happen. So there's a learning curve with it. But for myself, I think that having multiple guitars, if I have to do a gig and I need, I want one guitar that I never have to worry about, I always know as soon as I pull it out of the guitar case, it's going to be in tune. This is the one. So anyway, just like I said, I don't ever post this. This is my first review. Please be nice. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks a lot.